everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Moody Book Tag. I saw this done by Rana, and this tag was created by Brittany at Slanted Spines. I will link both of their pages down below, the tag, original video, all that good stuff in the description box, but we're just going to get right into it because this tag looked really fun to me. Question 1, do you consider yourself a mood reader? Absolutely. I definitely pick up and put down a lot of different books. I may very well have a TBR that I'm trying to stick to, that if I'm just not feeling the book, I'm just gonna put it down. I did that last time when I was doing the Naruto TBR game. I was locked and loaded to read The Priory of the Orange Tree. I wasn't feeling it, found out, oh wait, actually, the longest book of my TBR is actually the final book in the Lightbringer series. I'll read that. No, I just was not in the mood for a really big fantasy novel. So I am absolutely a mood reader. Do you set a TBR list and do you stick to them? For the most part, yes. Like I just said, you know, for that Naruto TBR tag, I did not get that prompt finished. But I read almost everything else that I put on my TBR list. So I do a decent job of sticking to TBR. I would say, you know, if I had 10 books that I chose, there's a good chance I'll read at least 8 of the 10. Yeah, no, just saying. But I've noticed that when it comes to these like mini readathons that people put together that I think are so cool, like I liked Summerween, I liked Winterween. There's another spooky one going on right now. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is, but it looks so cool. I just can't ever stick to it. And that's probably because I have a monthly TBR list that I'm trying to stick to. If I try to add in extra books in there, following something completely different with prompts, I don't know, I just can never make it work. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to get better at that because I'd love to be a part of some readathons, but if I don't know about it, before I do my TBR list for the month, chances are I'm gonna fail. I'm sorry. Do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of the book rub off on you? Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that the mood of the book rubs off on me. I think I can go into a book, and if it's supposed to be sad, I don't think it's gonna necessarily bring me down because of the mood of the book, but for the most part, I would say, like, when I'm reading a romance, I'm pretty upbeat. I'm pretty excited. When I'm reading adventure, I'm on edge. So my emotions do kind of match, but I wouldn't say it totally will change my mood completely. But I could be wrong. I'd honestly have to ask my husband because I read so much. It's hard to really remember if I've ever been in a good mood or read a book and it just ruined me. Just because the mood going on was what we're doing in that. So I'll ask my husband, maybe I'll put that down in the description, like, actually yes. But I'd say I'm half and half on that. Yes and no. When you're feeling sad, do you like to read sad books, happy books, or neutral books? That's tough. I don't think that when I'm actually feeling sad, I'm in the mood to read at all. I don't necessarily watch something that makes me happy though. So when I'm not in a good place mentally and emotionally, unfortunately, I think a lot of the times I watch things that I know are gonna make me cry to try to bring the tears forth, or I'm not sure that I'm actually not in a good place and I'll watch something that makes me cry and it'll make me feel a bit better because like I really needed to get that out. So when I'm sad, if I had to choose, I'd probably say I don't go out of my way to read something happy or sad. It's probably just neutral. Whatever I'm reading at the time, if I'm feeling up to actually reading, if I'm sad, I'm not picking it up because of that, because I want to make myself happy. I guess it's just neutral. Most often, do you use reading to escape, learn, or to critically reflect? All of them. I really like fantasy. That's escaping for me. I don't always look at it that way, but it's clear that that's what's going on here. Learning and critically reflect, absolutely. I really like nonfiction books, a lot more now as I've gotten older too, but I love memoirs. I've said this over and over again. I really love to read other people's memoirs. I learn a lot about them, just anything. So I'd say all three. What's a book that made you laugh out loud? Most recently, a book that I read that made me laugh out loud was Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This is a romance book. It was so funny, mainly because of Chloe. I really like the back and forth between her and Red, but Chloe is truly my favorite character in this book. The cat, her sisters, her family. Honestly, I know, and I'm going to be reading the next book, Dani Brown, soon. And then, of course, the book about her other sister, Eve, I think just recently came out. So I want to keep reading, but honestly, I almost just want to read a book that's just her and her family. I don't care about love. I do care about love, but I don't care about love because they are truly hilarious. Listening and reading her sisters going back and forth, teasing each other, I thought it was just really cute, and I loved reading that. And again, Chloe is just really funny. So this one made me laugh out loud most recently. What's a book that made you cry? Or if you don't cry, one that really moved you? I have several because there's a lot that makes me cry. First up, Between Shades of Grey. The ending of this was so fucking sad. I mean, in general, the whole book is really sad. It's historical fiction. Yeah, this ending was very, very hard. I haven't reread it since, but I'd really like to, but this was one that really messed me up. I talked about this in my last video, but the ending of Feed, like I remember screaming out loud at the end of this book. I was not ready for that ending, and I immediately screamed and sobbed. Like, that's how good/bad the ending was. When I say like bad, I don't mean like it was terrible, like ugh. Bad like for the person that ends up dying. I couldn't take it. So this one got me, and I am going to be rereading this soon. So I wonder if it's going to hit me the same way. I think I'll probably get a little tear. Hopefully I don't scream and sob. Next, I think a lot of people who've read this might agree, but The Nightingale. Oh my God. So I have the physical copy, but I read this on my Kindle, and let me tell you something. Vividly, I remember, I got home from work. I was reading this with my sister and my mom in a book club, but I got home from work. I was sitting on the sofa reading it on my Kindle, and it just started to get dark. You know, I got off late at night. I hadn't turned any lights on because, you know, it's the Kindle Paperwhite. And as it ended, it's pitch black in my house. I can only imagine what my husband like would have thought when if he came home and saw me like that. I'm pretty sure he wasn't home. But just me, you know, laying completely flat with like the Kindle like this, tears, crying. I don't know if I was sobbing, but it's definitely one of those things where with this one, I kept thinking about it again and then crying all over again. This one was really hard. I don't know. This is another one I haven't reread yet, and it's historical fiction. So we shall see. But I think, again, I would probably tear up because the ending was just, it was just too much. Next up is The Miniaturist. Another book I read with my mom and sister. Another book where the ending had me really, really sad. I cried at the end of this. And this was another one where I kept thinking about the ending and then continuing to cry. When I think about the ending of this book, which I kind of remember what happens, but not really. I think I read this back in 2016. I get like that feeling like you're gonna cry in the back of your eyes, but I feel like I want to revisit this book and see if it hits me the same way it did. I'm pretty sure it will, but this one. And lastly, the most recent book that tore my ass up was The Silvered Serpents, okay? This one is still kind of raw for me because I already kind of felt it there. The ending of this one, wow, really set it up to be an emotional, like you knew that was kind of coming. we all, I think, I'm not trying to speak for other people, but I think we all kind of assumed that that's where it was going to go, this relationship between these two people. We all kind of assumed that. And then when it kind of came out and like feelings are expressed and sacrifices are made, it broke me. So this, I can't wait to read the last book, honestly. I think that comes out this year. So I'm definitely excited, but I'm scared because I feel like I'm going to get hurt again. I don't see how I couldn't, honestly. But yeah. What is a book that you didn't even know how you felt about? I don't think I have an answer for that one. Most of the books that I've finished, that I usually am just kind of like, okay. It's not usually a book that was like supposed to like make you cry or really hit you in the feels. I think it's sometimes like a fantasy book that just didn't do it for me. Maybe the characters I didn't connect to them. See, now this is hard. You know what? I might actually say Bloody Rose, because and this is interesting because like at the beginning, after I finished that, I was like, I hate this book. It's terrible. But a couple books read it and they made a really good point of, you know, you should kind of go into the second book not thinking of it like a sequel. Think of it like its own standalone, and you kind of just meet these same characters from the last book, but it's not a sequel. So I think that I don't feel like I hate it anymore, but I do want to reread it and see, will my feelings change? I think I'm a really character like driven person. I really like characters, or I like character driven books. So I don't know, I might choose that one because I can't think of anything else. Are you more likely to read on a sunny or a cloudy day? I will read any day of the week, but the weather does really affect my mood. I prefer sunshine. I'm a morning person. I like to wake up and see the sun shining. I enjoy that. It makes me feel good. The weather in Virginia is kind of funky, but when it's raining, especially for a long time, I hate it. And I think a lot of the time when it is raining, I don't have any desire to do anything. Like, I'm just so blah like the weather. I'm just I want to come home and I just want to go to sleep, or I just want to watch TV. I don't really want to think about anything too much because my mood is just like at a 0 sometimes. Whereas when it's sunny, I'm in a better mood. So if I had to choose, I'd probably say a sunny day I'm more likely to read than on a gloomy day, especially if it's been several gloomy days in a row. Do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smells, etc.? No, not really. A lot of the time I'm reading in my car, between work or during work, on my break. When I'm at home, I mean, I might light a candle, but it's not to read. I obviously want the lights on when I'm reading because a lot of the books that I have are not on my Kindle that I'm reading right now. So no, there's no mood setting, but I guess if anything, I definitely want to be comfy. I want to have the pillows just right, the blanket on me. So I'm not really setting a mood. I'm just getting into comfort mode. Can you leap from book to book, or do you need buffer time between them? You know, that one's tough. Again, when it comes to being a moody reader, a lot of the time, what ends up happening with me is I'm reading multiple books at once. Like right now, I'm reading The Silent Patient. I am trying to read another book and reading Anita Blake. So I'm kind of reading like 3 books right now. But there are these other times where a story is so good, I only want to focus on that one. It's not conscious, like I'm only focusing on this one and that's it. It's just like the story has me so much that I'm just really invested in this and I don't feel like picking anything up. I just want to finish this one in particular. So I don't need anything to buffer in between. I really am reading several books at once. I'm going in between different genres. I do like to try to read a nonfiction and then like a bunch of other like fiction, fantasy stuff. I like to read at least one nonfiction, like have it in the mix. It doesn't always work out that way, but for the most part, That's my preference. And that's it. That's the final question. Now, there is no like last question, tag somebody. I'm not necessarily, I don't know if I'm gonna tag anybody or not. I'm just gonna kind of put it out there. Do this if you'd like to. I really liked it because I am a Moody reader. And yeah, I mean, no one tagged me to do it. I just liked it. So with that being said, if you like this tag video, please do it. Do you agree? Are you a Moody reader? What do you like to read? What's the most recent book that made you laugh out loud? Or cry? Let me know in the comments. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like it, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. And with that being said, have a good day. Goodbye.